Today is August the 24th, 2015. My name is Tanya Finchum, along with Alex Bishop, and we're with Oklahoma State University. Today we're in Tulsa to interview Lessie Randle, and this is part of our Oklahoma 100 Year Life project, so thank you for having us today. Let's start with having you tell us when and where you were born.
I was born in OOHRP County, near Mars, Oklahoma, November 10th, 1914. A grand year.
Coming up on 101 then.
Yes, in November the 10th, I'll be 101, God willing.
And what was the name of the town?
Around Mars, Oklahoma. I was from Oklahoma.
Marsh?
Mars, M-O-R-R-I-S.
Morris, okay. And did you have brothers and sisters?
Yeah, I had 3 sisters and 1 brother.
And what did your parents do for a living?
Well, they were farmers.
Cotton and corn?
Head feed, what have you.
Were they from Oklahoma, your parents?
No, they were from Texas, both of them.
Do you know where they got your name?
No, I don't know where they got it, but I didn't know anybody else by that name. I don't know where they got the name from. It's something that they thought up, I guess. I don't know.
And did you go to school there in Okmulgee?
No, I didn't go to school at Okmulgee. I went to school around Mars, down at a place called Grayson. I went to school there. But I finished school here in Tulsa. So that's been a long, long time ago.
About what time did you come to Tulsa?
Well, to live, I guess it must have been around, well, they brought me here when I was about,
So around 1925, 24 through there?
Yeah. I can remember correctly.
And what brought them to Tulsa? Why did they come?
Well, they wanted to leave the farm, and they had relatives here. And of course, we convinced them that they would be easy to find work here. So I guess they were tired of the farm and they just moved to Tulsa.
Do you remember how you got here?
I imagine in a wagon in those days, because they didn't have a car. So I imagine in a way, because they had wagon and team in those days, and they traveled wagon and team from town to town.
Yeah.
It'd take a little while to do that, wouldn't it?
Well, yes, but it didn't seem so long at that time.
Give me a pill bottle up there.
It didn't seem so
And
long
my
at that
pills
time.
up there, I'm gonna change it.
But now it would.
Yeah. Thank
Seems
you.
forever
It's a
now.
bag of pills right there. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, when you were on the farm, did you have chores you had to do?
Oh, yes, they were. I was very young at that time, so of course I had to, I feed the chickens and bring in the chips, for the starting of the fire and that sort of thing. Of course now, Mom let us kind of work with her in the kitchen. I learned a lot about cooking and stuff in the kitchen in those days. Dad didn't want us to do it. He'd say, Wife says, you better watch those kids. I think they're wasting too much. He said, how will they ever learn? so that was pretty well the way we came up.
What was the favorite thing that she fixed that you like to eat?
Oh, Lord, there's so many. I like her pancakes, and I like her for lunch. She liked to fix chicken, and she fixed it so many different ways. And I love that. And of course, we grew our own chickens and our own hogs and killed those. We had we just preserved most of all our foods right there on the farm. And Mother would can those vegetables and fruits, you know, and our people like them. And we just pretty well had our own milk cows, we had our own milk and butter and all that sort of thing. We had our own food there, so just about everything. Just about everything. So,
Did she teach you how to make biscuits?
yes, she did. Yes, she taught me how to make biscuits.
And was she good at pie crust?
Yeah, I did pretty well at that too.
You did?
I've got to say it so myself. I did. Yeah. My mother was a good cook. She's a very good cook.
Well, would she kill the chicken or would your father?
Oh, we'd all kill them. When I got big enough to bring a chicken leg, I'd kill them too. We'd all kill the chicken. I'd take that chicken leg and I'd bring it, you know. And it just excited me to see on the flock after you bring the next, you know, they were dying, you know. And then finally one day I said, well, this is kind of cruel to myself. I said, you kill that chicken like that. I said, but you can't eat him live. You have to kill him. So then, oh dear. My. Those were the days.
Well, how would they celebrate Christmas?
Oh my goodness. It'd be a great big celebration. They'd cook for a week. Have pies and cakes and everything. And they'd have relatives come in, of course, and they'd eat and they'd drink. And of course, the men folks would have the stronger drinks, and the ladies would have the less stronger drinks, you know. But one thing your mom made I love, that was eggnog.
Eggnog.
Oh, she'd make it. It would be so good. Oh, yes. And of course, I'd sneak around and they'd put a little liquor in my eggnog sometimes. Not much, you know, just enough. It would make it taste good. Yes, my dear. I tell you, there's nothing like living on the farm, though. That's very healthy. Very healthy. Now, you won't believe this, but we would go down to we had a well, and we would take our milk. We didn't have refrigerator back then at that particular time. We'd take our milk and put it in a jug, put it on a rope, and lay it down into the well, and tie it on the outside of the well. That's to keep it cold. And it would be the coldest milk. The coldest milk you ever take. It would be so good. In those days, I think we had pure food, even for the livestock. Nowadays, it's got so much chemicals and things in it, it's not good. But in those days, everything was pure. We go down to the creek. We better not do it now. If we wanted a drink, we felt like we needed a drink, we just take our cup and go down and get us a drink of water. But you can't do it now. You better not. I told you wake up dead. Now you better hush. Now she's the one who told me, Grandma, you got a whole lot more to do. I said, God isn't through with you yet. You got a lot more for you to do. I told her, I said, I'm told no. I said, well, if you just give me strength, I said, I'll do it. I said, just give me strength, that's all I got. Give me help and strength, I'll do it. She's giving me more courage, and she still does. Sometimes, you know, sometimes you feel a little bit, oh, my goodness, but she'll come along. Grandma, I just think you're doing wonderful. You're doing better than we're doing, such and such a thing, you know. That's easier left, you know. It's just natural for you when you get older to feel sometimes that, oh, I'm just tired. I don't want to do that. I'm just tired. That's just natural. I'm telling you now, so if you ever get 100, you say, oh, she told me that. Yeah. So,
Well, what do you think your secret is to living this long?
hard work and clean living. That's what I tell everybody. I worked hard in the field. I worked hard at the house. And then when I got older to come to town to get me a job, I worked hard there. But I had sense enough to go home and go to sleep at night. Didn't try to stay up all night long and probably sleep and drink, and I didn't do that. I've never been a drinker. Now, Mama always had it in the house. She's a for medical purpose. Dad would always have a gallon behind the door. But we knew who it was and what it was for. None of us bothered it. Mom would put it in she'd make maybe a little hot toddy, she'd call it, at night time when we had cold. And she'd give it to us. And that would just perk us up, keep the colds away. So we all knew what it was for, and we never bothered it. But the liquor is one of the best things that you can use if you use it right. It's one of the worst things if you don't use it right. I found that out years ago. There's nothing wrong with liquor, but it's the way you use it.
Would she mix something with it for her hot toddy?
Well, sometimes she put it in a bottle and put some lemon juice in there, and sugar and different ingredients, and she'd give us a spoonful of that now and then. Never got cough medicine, whatever, tonic we call it. So she knew how to do it. She knew a lot of things to do that kept us going. But nowadays, it's just the opposite. It's the opposite.
Did she have other home remedies?
Well, yes, she had something called acidity. Now that was a germ killer in those days. She would take that and put it in a bottle, and she put some whiskey on that, and she would give us some of that. That was our what would you call it? Well, it was keep the germs down. So we were pretty healthy though. She always kind of kept us healthy. And then she'd make called blackgrass. I guess you heard of that. Blackgrass. In the drugstore you have, it's kind of well, you've seen cedar leaf, haven't you? Well, it's kind of a ground up like cedar leaf, but it's ground up fine. And she would take that and make a tea out of it. And she would put whiskey in that. And that's to kill the taste of it.
What?
And she put a
What?
little sugar in it and everything. That's to make it go down easy.
No.
And that was for a laxative.
I hate one in the morning.
Old people had a lot of remedies. That they would do. Kept us going. Kept us going.
Well, did she sew much?
Yes, she made all my clothes.
Had a trindle machine?
Yes, one of those machines. You've seen them, huh? Yeah, with a treadle on it, you put your foot on it. That's where I learned how to sew. On that machine. Tanya, you ever see a treadle machine with a treadle on it?
Yes, ma'am.
Is
Is it raining?
Yeah.
That's the
It's
kind
called
of
rain.
Yeah, it was a singer.
A singer?
Singer. That's the only thing is the first one. Yeah. And she taught us how to sew. And then, after we started to school, got a little bit along in grades, we took sewing in school. So, that way, we learned pretty well. I sewed pretty good, but right now, I don't do too much of that. It's kind of, of course, now we have the electric machines. We don't have the treadles anymore. I still have been trying to find me another treadle, just to keep it as a souvenir. I bet you have to pay $1 million for it. We found one. But that's how we learned to sew.
Where would she get her fabric?
Oh, dry goods stores. They have stores like they have now. It's so dry goods. Fabric stores they call it now, but we had them there in the street. That's where she get up there.
Would she do quilts as well?
Yes. She taught us how to piece quilts. Different patterns. I had a lot of patterns of quilts. A lot of pretty patterns. I don't have it here now though, but I had them then. and she teach how to piece those together, and then put them together, and then make a quilt top out of it. And then she would get a lining. I think she called it, what's that she called it? The lining. Something like a sheet. And put it in a frame, and she would put cotton in between there, and then she put the quilt top, the piece on top of that, and bind it down all down, and then we quilt it. That's the way we made quilt. Go through there with our needle and thread, and we quilt it. Oh, we made some of the prettiest quilts. Oh, people don't make quilts that way no more.
Did her frame come from the ceiling, or was it from the
Sometimes, yeah, she'd have it coming from the ceiling, most of the time. Sometimes she'd have no chairs, but most of the time it would be coming from the ceiling. I say half the time. And you've seen them. So that's the way we learned.
Well, when you came to Tulsa, where did you go to school?
Booker T. Washington.
And how far did you?
Well, now before I went to Washington, I did go to Dunbar Grade School, and then they moved back to the country. My dad was a mover, and I went to Snake Creek School. And when they moved back to town, when I was in high school, so I went to Booker T. Washington.
And did you graduate from Booker T?
Yes, 1937.
That's my next question.
Yep, 1937, sure did.
And did you have a favorite subject?
English was my favorite subject. English, I love that. Of course, I had quite a few subjects that I liked, but English was my favorite.
Did you play sports?
Well, yes, we played basketball. But I never went on the team and traveled. I just played at school. Oh, those old days.
Well, how would you get to school?
Well, sometimes we lived close enough to walk, and then when we didn't, we rode the school bus. At the school bus. And pick us up. Just like the buses we have now.
Okay. Well, did you have to work during high school? Did you work during high school?
Yes, yes I did. Yes, after I came back to Tulsa. I had a little job I did after school and on Saturdays and Sundays before I went to church. I did work, yes I did.
So church was an important part of growing up?
Oh yes, it was. I stayed with my grandmother some part of the time, and first she was a Christian, you know. We must go to church and Sunday school, you know. We have to do that. I enjoy it though. I'm grateful for her to keep us in church and Sunday school. Otherwise, I don't know what I'd have been like. But it was quite enjoyable.
Your grandmother?
Yes.
What was her name?
Her name was Mary G. Benningsville. Yeah.
Excuse me.
It took I know you've seen the big chief tablets. It took a whole line across that to write my name, Lessie Evelyn Benningsville. Real across that. A whole line. Yeah.
Well, once you graduated from high school, what did you do?
Well, since I took courses, they had what they called extensions from Langston. I took a few courses there, but I got me a job and just went to work, you know, because I had other sisters at home. So I saw where I could help Mom take care of them, and I just went to work. Had my nice little job. I always worked.
Doing what? What was your job? What was your job?
Well, now, I'll tell you what. Various jobs. I worked in homes, domestic, and of course, I babysit and all that sort of thing. And then I worked in the library a while. Oh, I just different jobs. I can't remember all the jobs I did, but I worked.
You stayed busy.
I stayed busy. Cause see, I knew Mom wasn't able to help me like I wanted to be helped. And they had those other kids. They had 4 more at home. So I felt like I could take that off of them.
Were you the oldest?
I was.
And were you bossy?
No, they won't tell you that. They say no. I say, I'll tell Mom. And let her handle it. I wouldn't tell Dad too much. Dad wasn't much on whipping, but when he did, he whipped me one time in my life. And I didn't feel like a man should touch me in that respect, with me. And I fought him. I fought my dad. Yes, I did. And he just got to thinking about it. He was spanking me, or who was spanking me. And I just fought him. And I guess he got kind of angry. So then, after he took his hand and spanked me, that wouldn't do it. He took his fist.
Now you wonder what we did.
I thought I was a child. He was thinking, I guess, that I was on a job. And he was going to give me his fist. Mama called him, no. I brought him back. I would have. But she stopped. But after that, he never touched me. Never did me. I learned that whatever he told me to do, I would go ahead and do it. I didn't want that encounter anymore. So we got along just fine after that. But I never, that grew up in me. I don't care who the man is. I don't want to touch him. Don't touch me in the way of violence. Don't do that. Because you will get hurt.
So your mother would be the one that would discipline from then on? And what did she use?
Switches.
Switching.
Oh, yes, you go out that peach tree and get her one of those limbs and all the leaves, all the leaves off of it. And sometimes you get too trouble. And when she got cute with you knew what it was about. You wasn't about to do that no more. So she was small, not much bigger than I am, not much bigger than I am. But that little lady could hit so hard. Ooh, she could whip. Man, I see her come to those switches. That's why she made me go to the switches. She makes us go get the switches.
She'd make you go get it?
Yeah.
Bring them this little things that like, go get me a switch. She's done business. But she was sweet. I would take anything for her.
And what was her name?
Her name was Katie May. Well, they named her Kizzy, but after Dad and her got married, Dad renamed her Katie May. Katie May Benningfield. That was her name.
And his?
His name was George Washington Benningfield.
George Washington.
George Washington Benningfield. I don't know who named him, but that's what his name. And his dad was George Washington, and he was a junior. I never did see his dad, because he was scared for Mama and him got married. But that was his name. Now I saw his mother. I saw Dad's mother, but I never saw Dad's dad. Oh my goodness. Whoosh. I get to thinking sometimes, my Lord, it's been a long time, 100 years, I never see that.
You see a lot, haven't you?
Oh, I have.
Were you here in Tulsa when they had the race riots?
Oh, I was. I was quite small, but I remember a lot of things about the race riot. I remember the people coming to our house and pushing us out of the house. We had to get out of the house, so we had to leave. So we walked on out to Mohawk, and I'm right along beside them, that little long, and on our way out there, the soldiers came along in a bus and picked us up. They had to call in the soldiers. It was so bad. And what they would do, they would go into the stores and take all the food and everything out of the stores that they wanted, and then they set the stores on fire and burn the stores down. That's what they did.
They being who?
I guess you'd call them, I don't know what you'd call them. They were a bunch of people who come in. I don't know whether they'd be called hoodlums. I just call them hoodlums. More like that's what they would do. So they had to call the soldiers in. Authorities of the town called the soldiers in. They came in and chased them out of here.
Well, when they picked you up, where did they take you?
Well, we went out to the fairgrounds. They took us out to the fairground. And they had cots and hot soups and what have you out there for the people.
Now, how long would you have to stay there before you could go back?
Well, I think we might have spent the night. I don't remember, but I think we might have spent the night out there. And then come back the next day. Oh, it was something else to think about. Some of it I've forgotten, of course, it's been so long. But I do remember going out to the fairgrounds. They had little cots out there for us to lie on and rest and see and all that. Oh man, I tell you, it was quite a day. Quite a day. I never want to see that again. No. That was awful. And the thing of it was, I don't know why they were looking for all the men. But they were looking for all the men. They were, I don't know, but they killed a lot of men. They had a flatbed truck, and they tell me that they killed those men and stacked them on the truck like you would just sardines, and took them down to the river and threw them in the deepest part of the river. Now that's what they told us they did with them. I didn't see them do that, but that's what they said they did with them. And but it was terrible. It was terrible. They killed all the men. They came out to our house, and we had a loft up there, and they had a cover, for that. And they looked up in that loft. They looked up to the loft, but they were afraid to take the cover off, because they didn't know what was up there. Looking for men, they thought they were hiding in the loft. And I don't know why they wanted to take the men. I never did learn why they wanted to kill the men. But they did. Oh, it was senseless to me. I don't see anything.
Well, did your father go with you to the fairground?
My father was still in the country. I was up here with my grandmother when that happened. My father and mother were still in the country. She was home in the country. But the next morning, after all this had happened and got cleared away, my dad hooked up his wagon and team. He was down at Bixby. We were down at Bixby, you know where they did. He hooked up his team, and he and Mom got in the wagon and came to Tulsa. Because they had heard about it. He had been to Bixby and heard about the ride. So they were coming to see about us in the wagon. They came up here in the wagon. Now it seems like it's 100 miles or more since we got cars, but that's the way they travel. That's what they had to do. Because not very many people had a car in those days. So that's, oh boy, you wouldn't believe it. You didn't see it yourself, you wouldn't believe it. It was something else. Really something. I never want to see that again. Never want to see that. And it was so foolish. I don't know what in the world the ride was all about anyway. It just sounds so foolish to me. I just never could make any sense out of it. But that's what they did. That's what they did.
You would have been about, know, 8 or 10, somewhere through there.
Yeah, along in that area.
Well, when did you get married?
Well, how old was I when I got married? I was in my 30s. I guess I was. About 32, 3 or 4. Somewhere along in there.
A little older.
Yes, just a wee bit older.
That wasn't in your big plan?
No, I had plans for being a single girl all my life. That's what I had dreamed of. I had an aunt was she was a school teacher. She'd never married, and I kind of thought that'd be a kind of a happy life. And I had kind of planned on that. But it didn't happen that way. I met the man of my life, I guess, because he's a good person. And we got married. And of course, we lived together for a few years. And then the Army came along and took him. So didn't have very long marriage life at the time. So then he came back, so he came back in the Army. And we picked up where we left off. Oh dear. So I haven't had very much of a sweet life, I'll tell you. Ups and downs.
What did he do for a living?
Well, he worked at the Oklahoma Steel Casting Company. He worked at steel mills back here.
And what was his name?
Warner Randle. Warner Randle.
And we know you had children. How many did you have?
I had 5.
Boys, girls?
2 girls and 3 boys. That's my oldest daughter up there. She was massacre doctor, herbal doctor, what she was. Her name was Wanda. And of course, then after her was the boy. And then after him was the one that you saw in here. And then another boy. And then the last one was a girl.
Every other?
I had oldest was a girl. And the baby was a girl. 3 boys in between.
Oh, beautiful.
5 kids. 5 lovely werewolves. I wouldn't take nothing from them though.
And did you have them at home or in the hospital?
I never went to the hospital until I was 100 years old. I took my 100th birthday in the hospital.
How did you manage that?
Well, it just came about, I guess, because I was up there with, one of my kids was in the hospital, and I was up there with them. I guess it must have been the one this year. And I guess I just got exhausted, I guess. And he tells me that I had fallen out. I don't remember that, but he tells me I had fallen out, and that's how I was while I was in the hospital. And I had my birthday. I got mail! Yay! 100th birthday in the hospital.
Well, did you at least get cake?
Ooh. People came from all around. The hospital, the room was full of people. And they had another reception room there. And they had all kinds of food and all kinds of presents and all just. I had my mother, what's going on? Oh, it was grand, I enjoyed it very much. Ooh. Yes, it was cake. I just got I said, my goodness. But I appreciate it because, you know, like I said, 100 years isn't to be sneezed at.
Well, hopefully this next one will not be in the hospital.
I hope not. I'm trying to keep it from being in the hospital. I'm really trying.
Well, do you have anything on your bucket list that you wish you could do, but you haven't had time or whatever?
Did I what?
Do you have something on your bucket list, your wish list of things you want to do?
Yes, I'll tell you what I want to do. I want to have my house remodeled because my being away from it and all that. It's not a great lot to be done, but I need a floor in the kitchen and in the bathroom. The bathroom and kitchen needs to be redone, and that's about it. But I need that done very badly. Because I was out there in April yesterday. My son stays out there to keep, it. And I looked at the floors, and I said, well, I've been in that house since 1980. And I said, it's time to have it remodeled now. And it is. I got it remodeled one time,
Have a good day.
it's time again. It's really time again.
Sorry, keep
So
saying.
that's what I wish could happen. If I could get that done, I'd be all right. It's a kitchen floor and bathroom redone over. That would be just about what I'd like to have
Well, have you traveled any?
done. Yes, when she was alive, I traveled with her. We went overseas once or twice, and all around America we traveled. Like I say, she was in the herbal business, and we traveled with West Island Herbs and Nature Sunshine Herbs. You might have heard of it. That was what she was with. And yes, we traveled quite a bit, and I said, I guess I won't keep traveling anymore. I don't have a traveling buddy anymore.
Where's your most favorite place you traveled to?
Hawaii.
What did you like about Hawaii?
Oh, I like the way they do, their little dances, and then I like their food, and I just like the place. I like it. So,
Did they get you to do the hula?
no, we watched them do it. We watched them. It was really pleasant. I enjoyed it very much. Yeah. Yes.
So on a typical day, how early do you get up?
Well, since I haven't been feeling so well, I don't get up very early, about 9 maybe, or sometimes 10. I just lie down and rest, try to get my strength back again. As you might guess, I'm not as strong as I was when I was 20. So I try not to overdo it to get,
And about what time do you go to bed?
I try to go to bed, don't do that.
You're toy, you're playing.
I try not to go to bed later than 9.
You
Sometimes
got-
you stay up and lay down. And sometimes
You
you
can't
stay
beat nobody, can you?
with them.
Shut up, I
Now,
beat you.
this is a nice place, but
Like I
it
said, you
is
can't
long.
beat nobody up.
It is long. It's quiet.
I beat you.
Excuse me, back here,
Yeah,
and not interrupt or anything, and that's the
I don't
problem.
want you to.
Nobody comes
What?
unless you invite somebody,
I was being nosy, that's why.
Why? So, oh,
But I come to you.
not that I like a lot of ragged, but what do you like to see somebody?
Well, what do you do during the day? What are some other things you do?
Well,
during the
when
day?
I wake up, I get my reading done. I have well, let's see, I thought that was it, but it's not. And let's see, I tell you, I do a lot of reading. And let me just show you what it is. See, this is one of them here. It's a little Christian book.
Whatever, get
Uh-huh.
you.
And then here's another.
Sure not.
Right there.
Did you play that? Oh, man.
Yeah, and the daytime books, the book that I keep all my, see, it's a daily reading, is what it is. And
Do you have to wear glasses or can you see?
I don't wear glasses. I think I need some though. I think I do.
I think it's great that you don't have to.
Well, I did wear glasses once upon a time, but when I finally got where I didn't need them anymore, they disappeared.
And you hear pretty well too.
I do very well, very at times. So that's
And you read a lot of books on religion?
yes, that's what these are.
And what religion are you?
I'm a Jehovah's Witness. That's one of the books. And this is here. This is his return to Jehovah.
So you keep up on things.
Give me
I
that.
try to. I try to keep abreast of things. I do. I sure do.
Give me 10 more,
Well-
Doctor.
No,
Were your parents Jehovah?
no, my parents. I was brought up a Baptist, and we got where there wasn't a Baptist church. You know, they moved where there wasn't a Baptist church. So I feel like this. Religion is religion. Some are a little bit stronger than others, perhaps. But religion is religion. And if I can't get to this church, I'll go to that one, the closest one. Anytime I can hear about God and His Word and learn more, you know, we never get to learn it. I just go do that. I'm not partial. You know, like I say, some religions are stronger probably than others, but they all pertain to God. So I feel like anytime I can learn anything more about God, I'm there. I'm willing to learn. So
Did you teach classes when you were younger?
I taught Sunday school when I was younger.
Give me one.
Did you sing in the choir?
I did that too.
You can carry a decent tune?
I can carry a tune in the bucket now. Oh, shit. But I used to sing, I sung soprano when I was younger. And they all thought that I was doing quite well. Sometimes they wouldn't, if I couldn't be there, they wouldn't sing certain songs. Because, you know, I let them. But sure, I don't do that anymore. That's the thing of the past. No, I don't do that anymore.
Play any instruments?
No, when I was younger, I played the piano a little bit, took piano lessons, but I wasn't good at that. So, but I love music. I love music. Almost any kind.
Well, would you and your husband go to dances?
We didn't go too much. He didn't go to dances too much, so we kind of stayed around home and entertained ourselves. Now we go to movies. He loved movies. So that was supposed to. That was,
What theater would you go to?
well, they had a Dreamland theater here. That was our most. That was the most one. Was the Dreamland. And they had another theater, 2 more theaters. And we seldom went to them, but Dreamland was our main.
Would you ever travel to Bowling?
Yeah,
I think I went to Bowling one time.
30 to 60.
I think I've been to Bowling one time.
You're 38 up.
Yeah, we made a lot of trips around though. She'd, you know, we'd have herbal hours and what have you, know. And I'll tell you, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised at the people who really need this. Who really need that. And they did. You know, to me, I'd rather have an herb than have this chemical they're giving us now. The herbs were grown out of the ground, and I think God is in there. But what they do now, they spray those I guess, herbs, whatever it is with most everything, and then they take them and
Go back and forth.
grind them up and they put them in capsules and things and give them, oh my goodness.
Oh, okay.
It's something to think about when you think about it, really. But now,
Remember, we
the
just
herbs,
have to lay our
the
hand.
herbs, they don't use that
Give me
chemical.
5. No.
They grow it down, and they preserve it,
Yeah.
put it up.
That's so selfish.
Really, I'd rather have it. I'd rather have it. I would.
Sure.
Do you live alone?
Me? No, I'm living with, no, I have my own house out there, but I live with my son now. He's been sick too, had a stroke and everything, so I came down to kind of be with him because I don't like the idea of him being by himself, but when he first got sick by himself, I was, in my house and he got sick and fell out. And I think if I hadn't been there,
That ain't the spinner.
I would have been around, not.
No, that's the
Double
spinner.
deuce
We
spinner.
found out.
I put that down first, you played that, and I played that.
Whatever.
You played that.
So you're still taking care of him?
Okay.
Yes, you're right. Yeah.
A mother is a mother to the end.
Yeah, I always say, when are they gonna take care of us?
Yeah.
That's what I always say.
What I get.
It's my time, children. Always a mother, always a mother.
35.
Always a mother. Don't care how old, how Whew. Well, I tell you, I miss mine
Look,
even
this
as
is
old as I
20,
am.
right here. Right here.
When she
That's
first went away, I said,
23.
a lot of times things would happen. I said, I'll ask Mom.
30.
Oh, shucks, I can't ask Mom. She's not here.
Well, how did you discipline your kids? Did you send them for a switch?
Oh, I usually had the switches already. It wasn't switches, the straps.
Switches that she used to the foot.
I didn't have to do too much with it except by the oldest son.
I got
He was
65.
mischievous and I had to just kind of stay on him.
85.
But this one here was crybaby. And you got him, you got and the youngest son, he's always on the go.
No, let me
Always
talk
on
about
the
when you was
go.
a baby.
Yeah.
So I didn't have
Don't
to
do
do
nothing
too
now,
much with
Yes, I
him. And he
Yes,
was,
I do.
one thing about him, he would never tell me a story. He would never lie to me. The youngest one. I'd say,
Man.
they would tell me some, others would tell me some things. I say, Paul, did that happen? No, Mama, that didn't happen.
Girl, I shut that down.
Yeah. So,
So if you ever wanted the truth, you went to the baby.
yeah,
Okay.
I asked him, I said, if I knew you knew about
Grandma,
it.
you didn't talk about, my mama.
Huh?
You didn't talk about mama.
Don't talk about your mother.
I said you did not.
Oh, Mama. Oh, I never had any problem out of her. I said I didn't have no problem out of my girl. I didn't have any problem out of the oldest one because she, well really, her mama was my sister's daughter, but I adopted her when my sister passed. So she was the same as my daughter. But she was always a very obedient child. I never had any problems out of her whatsoever. Never did. And of course I didn't have any problems out of her either. But that was
How about you did?
her name was Doris Jean.
Oh, man.
And so that gave me 3 girls and 3 boys.
Whoa. Blanks and folks.
So my son and I were talking about this morning. I said, you know,
Blanks and folks.
God has really been good to me. He brought me through with those 6 children. I said, plus my sister had a child. He was about 3 weeks younger than her.
20.
And I nursed both of them at the same time. Well, her doctor said her milk wasn't good. But he said, you can nurse him. I said, oh my goodness. Got one already. He said, but you can nurse him. I had enough milk for both of the children. So I nursed them together. And he lives in Denver. He comes back every now and then. He said, and I told him about when he was young, how I nursed him every day. No wonder I keep coming back. He's a mess. Crazy.
He should have, but he been down now.
He's child, yes, sir.
Well,
I couldn't drive on no way because I had no
Sounds like you have a really good sense of humor.
Huh?
You have a really good sense of humor.
Well, I'll try to have, because I find out if you do,
Man, yeah,
I down with play on this
and not
floor over
having
here.
one, because
that's all
you
right.
can get stuck
You'll
behind,
pass.
No, I would have passed.
seriously,
Blink.
I'm serious about a lot of things, but you get too
Oh,
serious.
blanket, what you had, oh,
I know, see, it was like
Yeah.
that, see.
That's real, that's what you see.
yeah, but you were passed,
I
boy.
found that out. So,
Okay,
I try to,
yeah,
you know,
you the pass.
goodness knows, I don't need
I
to
would
be
have
sick
That's
played. I
good.
would have tried.
Yeah.
anymore.
Laugh when you can.
Yes.
You got
Laughter, I think, is a
Needed
very
20,
good
right?
medicine. If you can laugh.
Yeah,
Sometimes, I used to when I was younger, I just be
15,
grinning all the time. Some of the children, that's what,
16,
what are you laughing
17.
about?
That's
I
20,
said, just because I can.
that's 20 right off.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah, I used to have a beautiful grin, I had
I'm
good
back
teeth
up.
and all that sort of thing, and I just be
I'm
smiling.
ready to go good pass, good
What
pass.
you laughing about?
You the pass, I thought you had number 5.
Oh, boy.
Who taught you how to drive, or did you know who taught you how to drive?
Yeah,
Oh, I think, what was it? I forgot who told me that, but I didn't drive too much.
That was when did you give it up?
can't even be different. It was it.
Well,
Put it down.
when I had my oldest child, I guess,
Go 5, 10.
I guess, because then I got them, someone to teach them how to drive. Every one of
It's
them
different guy.
knew how to drive.
Yeah,
And I would buy a car, let them, really and truly, all of them had their own little cars.
you ain't got what?
I have bought 12 cars in my life. 12 cars.
That's a lot.
It is. I was telling them yesterday, I've got the certificates, 10 of them, and 2 of the last 2 I didn't have. I don't know what happened to them, but I bought 12 cars.
You don't keep the monkey down.
Yeah.
The monkey down. 10.
I wanted them to have transportation in.
Keep the monkey.
So when they got being I didn't have to drive. They'd take me where I want to go.
13.
So, but I want to have transportation. I always want to have my own because sometimes, you know, people have other things to do. They don't have time to take you places.
What would you spend?
Right?
Five.
I felt like it was easy if there
I
was
don't
a
know.
driver there to get a car. Well, but
Ain't no 6 down there, is
I
it?
tried to have a car.
Yeah, we had to be 5.
I tell
Well, I
you.
thought it was a four, but
Ain't no
this is
four
Oh
a new
man,
guy.
I've been through it.
10. Ain't no 4
I have been through it.
Well, when your husband was in the war, did he write letters back to you?
All the time. All the time. All the time.
Did you keep them?
I kept them for a long time. But now, I don't know where a lot of that stuff is. I guess it kind of got thrown away.
All the bases.
Yeah, you
After
did.
so long a time.
Yeah.
Because we
That was your hand last time.
I think we need to do something.
Wait time we get
He
double.
always spoke to me. He always kept.
What about the Great Depression? Do you remember the Depression times? Did they affect you any?
Well, yes, I kind of remember
Stole yours.
not having things that
And that gave you fun.
probably used to have.
You know what? Sometimes, you know, we have
I remember the food shortage. That's the most
Good.
food shortage. We didn't. It came upon the time when we didn't have meat like we used to have the hogs and cattle and things like that to kill. You know? And we would have to substitute. I remember Mama making big pan of gravy, and a pan of biscuits, and so we had biscuits and gravy. We didn't have meat because I don't know, something happened. Seemed like it just kind of got among the livestock and just kind of killed them out. We just didn't have it anymore.
What do you have? Good hand.
I remember that was a bad time too.
Yeah,
Have
what
the
do you
meat,
have?
you know.
Good hand.
But we made it. We, Mama did a lot of canning and a lot of preserving and what have you, you know. We made it. But I remember that biscuits and gravy.
What do you think?
Pretty good too when you hungry.
You just preferred the meat with it.
Yeah, I'd like to have a little piece of meat. Oh, a slice of bacon or something. Yeah.
How often would you get a new pair of shoes?
Well, we kept in shoes. We weren't so hard on our shoes. We kept in shoes. I can remember having a pair for every day wearing to school and a pair for Sunday.
What do you think? Get a good hand.
And those were the lace-up type.
Yeah, no
That time,
doses.
that's what we had. And later on,
Laid
we
those
got
You
slippers
laid
that
those.
wasn't-
Nobody had to.
Yes,
Man, it's
but I look back upon
You know what, that's right,
I said,
you
those were the
said.
good old days.
If that's
Those
the
were
only
little
double I
babies.
have,
Right now,
I got them away.
sometimes,
Yeah.
and I'm like, why I do this? And I know I did.
I guess everybody had this.
Yeah, for
Sometimes
this.
I wonder, Lord, how did we get in this big? Oh, shoot.
Well, back in those days for school, you had to wear dresses.
Yes, we did. We girls wore dresses. We didn't wear pants in those days,
Man.
back in my early days. Of course, in later days, we wore what we wanted to wear, as long as we did, you know, later days. But back in the early days, no, we didn't wear anything but dresses, that's all. And we made our dresses. Mom made all my clothes until I got big enough to make to sew. And I remember making a little dress one time for me. It was a little gingham dress. It was an orange check, medium check. She put little sashes on it and I tied her behind. Oh, I was just oh, Lord, I think, oh, Lord, those were the good days. We just didn't know it.
How would she do laundry?
Oh, she had a washboard and tub, and she had two tubs, because she had one to wash, and then the other one would be rinsing. Put a little blowing in the water. I don't know if you know what seen is blowing.
It's been a long time.
Put a little blowing in the water. That's makes the clothes clear. And when we wash them on the washboard, rub board with the soap, you know, and then we bring them out and put them over in this tub, we rinse them in that tub. Sometimes we rinse them twice. Sometimes we rinse them through the clear water first, and then we rinse them again through the flowing water. If they were kind of soapy, we do that, you know. And we had the prettiest laundry. You would like go by the countryside and see people with the clothes hanging out, had clotheslines. It'd be so pretty and white and look so beautiful. So we didn't miss anything. I don't think we missed anything.
Had ironed everything.
Yeah, we had
Turn them over too.
irons on the iron.
You turn them over.
He got irons on the stove. And
Yeah.
most of the time. And then later on, when electric got come into play, we had electric irons. And then back in those days, we had those irons that would heat on the stove. And you could do the beautiful laundry with those irons. Some people say, my goodness, I don't think I'd like that. That's too much work. Well, that's all we had at that time.
Well, would you do it outside in the wintertime too?
No, we do that in the house. We do that in the house.
The washing?
Oh, the washing, yes, we do the washing in the kitchen usually when it's the winter time. No, we wouldn't go outdoors in the winter time. we do it usually in the kitchen, so that's all we had, kitchen and maybe have a little living room and the bedroom, that's all we have. So, that's what we do in the kitchen. Well, we managed.
Yeah.
Yeah, we managed.
In your lifetime, what do you think's the biggest invention?
Man.
Well, I don't know what I would say. I guess, I just really don't know what I would say, but so many things that came upon. I guess maybe learning how to,
Man.
I don't know if I do
Don't know.
so many things.
No, that's only 200.
It's so many
What do we
things.
Well, electricity came along.
Oh, that's only 150.
Yeah, electricity came along, that just really solved a lot of
Yeah, I know.
problems. A lot of
Oh,
them.
Refrigeration and indoor plumbing.
Man, you don't know, you think.
Refrigeration was really one of the
What was that, 10?
biggest ones, I guess, because
Oh, you went to 150 a while ago.
Save
man.
our
Yeah,
food
that's
now,
what we do.
you know
When
what
I'm
I mean?
thinking we go up to
Sometimes we cook enough for the
next.
next meal, and we could put it in the refrigerator. And save several times of fixing up the meal and take it out, heat it up, and have another meal.
The Crips and.
So refrigerator, I imagine
Yeah.
refrigerator was probably
Right after they did that.
probably shoot.
Yes.
Because we still cook on the cook
Ain't
stove.
that crazy?
And then,
Yeah, but too bad it is.
Right after they did.
After the summer we've had, they say air conditioning. After the summer we've had, they say air
I went to
conditioning.
my grandma's.
Well, you mean
Yeah,
those days?
that's what I was gonna do.
Those-
I was supposed to be.
You wouldn't have it in those days. You didn't have it in those days, air conditioning.
I got
No, we didn't have air conditioning.
Let me look real quick and call you
But
right back.
I don't know, somehow or another we managed to make it through. No, we didn't have air conditioning in those days. But later on, of course, they brought about the fans and, they came first. And then, the little box of air conditioning, we had that. And then, of course, the ones like we have now. But it seems to me like we did better then than we're doing now. It does. It seems like we did better then than we're doing now. I don't know. But
We get a little spoiled. We get a little spoiled.
we are very spoiled. We're very spoiled. We're now.
Yes, we can do
Well, did you
that.
ever remember the first time you voted?
What?
You voted?
Okay, I want to show you this thing on my board.
Yes. I remember.
I don't know what it is.
Let me see. I don't know how
It's
old
big
I
and
was.
red and.
But I remember we registered to vote. And then
It's right, it'll be right,
I was,
it's not, I don't think it's right in the
of course,
middle.
I was wrong.
I don't think it's right in the middle. It's off to the side on it a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh,
But I don't know.
okay. Bye-bye. Okay, it is 918-619.
Well, when history's written, what would you like it to say about you?
I reckon.
How
Oh, Lord.
do you want to be remembered?
I don't know.
The greatest grandma.
I just don't know
No
what I
grandma
like.
I got.
The greatest grandma.
I just don't know what I'd like to say about it.
No, big six.
I really hadn't given much thought to it. No thought to it.
I'll tell you.
Really. Huh?
I'll tell you.
All right.
The greatest grandma there is.
That's my girl. You say what, hon?
The greatest grandmother there is.
Why,
And
thank
the only grandmother I know.
the only thing. That's, well,
That's it.
is that it?
Me?
Did you ever think you'd make it to 100?
No. No. I never thought. Mm-mm.
No parents or siblings made
Uh,
it?
Yes, we have a granduncle made it to 105. And of course my mom and dad didn't make it to 100. I think mom was 82 and dad was 92, I believe, when they passed on. I think that was about that. Yes. And my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren. Now I have grands, great-grands, and great-great-grands.
And how do you keep up with all of them?
I can't. I can't. I can't. Oh, but I tell you, I wouldn't take anything from any of them. I just love them.
They keep up with you?
No, they usually away from me. They don't. They don't get to come over very much and all that, unless we give up some kind of get together.
You see mine?
But they all love me every time they see me. They come and
Six in my hand.
oh, that makes me feel good.
No, I
I
raised
tell
it.
you.
And that was it.
I never dreamed that I'd ever live to have great.
I should've,
Never thought it.
Are any of them named after you?
should've. put
No.
some flag right
None
there.
of them are named after me.
Should've.
No Lessies?
No,
Flag.
I hadn't thought of that. I had never thought about that.
I get
No, none of them are named after me.
you right. Oh,
They could use it for a middle name if nothing else.
yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, next time I think about it,
Yeah.
we'll have one, I'll tell you. Name them Lessie. I'll do that. I had never thought of that, really. It's an idea.
Well, is there anything else you want to add before we close?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. Charlotte,
Ma'am?
is there anything else you can think of we can add before we?
Just to continue to live
Man,
your long
John,
life. Just to continue to live your long life.
Oh, just to continue to
okay.
live my long life.
what y'all
Aiming for
talking about?
105, 106.
A
Okay.
110, I wouldn't care.
Uh.
I told him, I said, I wouldn't care if I got 200, if I could handle myself. But I don't want to be in anybody's way, because everybody has their own stuff to do.
I'll take care of
And
it.
nowadays, it takes all your time almost to do what you got to do.
I'll take
And you
it.
don't have time for it. But I don't want to be in anybody's way. I've always been independent, for myself
No,
and others, of course.
yeah,
So I don't never want to hinder anybody from doing anything.
I don't.
So as long as I can take care of myself, I don't care how old I get. It wouldn't matter.
That's right.
It wouldn't matter.
Well, we thank you very much for talking with us today. It's been a pleasure.
Well, I'm glad of that. We thank you for being over.
Yes, thank you guys.
Thank you very much.